You have medication where you've administered it to the patient where it damaged some of her scores.
All the time.
That's medicine. That's what it does.
All the time.
It does better for one, but makes worse in the other parts of the brain.
In fact, if you take my login information to the portal that I'm using, and I give you I just close my eyes as I wouldn't see that, and he's recording hip hop. From one patient at the age of 39, and this one is the baseline, and this one is the one after 5 minutes. You take the CBD Curcumin,
yes,
and then wait for 5 minutes. Okay. You can look at the brain in different ways. What I look here is looking at the already existing dysregulations. These 3 pages are the summary of the most extreme dysregulations, or let's put it in that way, like problem areas in each frequency level. So you have 9 different frequency levels here. From 1 to 3 hertz is delta, 4 to 7 is theta, 8 to 12 is alpha, and then you got this is page 2. Low beta is from 13 to 15, beta is from 16 to 20, high beta is from 21 to 34, from 35 to 45 is gamma, and then we have a differentiation between alpha 1 and alpha 2, which is at the page 1. So once more we take a look at alpha, and we separate it to alpha 1 and alpha 2.
So 8 to 10,
8 to 10 is becoming alpha 1, and alpha 2 is from 11 to 12, because of the importance of this wave range. Okay, now in order to determine conditions or dysfunctions, neuroscientists came up with a scoring solution which is called Z-score. They determined standardized frequencies for each one of those groups after taking a look at thousands of brain functions. Let's say those control groups. So I'm having depression, you're not having depression, and they measure my brain activities and yours, and they put you in that control, and then he's not having depression, he goes there too, and then you have 700,000 people here not having depression, and then they measure,
take a reading,
they take a reading and say, okay, it looks like this if you don't have depression.
Yeah.
Okay, if you're, then they're gonna say, okay, where is this depression coming from? From different areas. What are those areas? Our brain is having different areas called Brodmann areas. You know that, a German scientist a couple decades ago, he was doing physics, not biotechnology or anything like that. He was taking a look at the shape of the brain and say, okay, every time I see a differentiation in the shape and the texture of the brain, it might be a different part of the brain with a different function. And he didn't know anything about neurology or anything else. But it turned to be truth. After a couple decades, they went through all those separate parts and they figured out, yes,
yeah, it is, man.
In real,
mapping.
These not Brodmann areas from 1 to 50, they have specific functions or a group of functions. What are those functions? Some of those are motor related functions, some of are emotion, memory, etc. Now, I talked about the Z-score. The Z-score is at best if it's null. That's why Z, 0. 0 is the best Z-score. Anything above that, that's the standard deviation. So if you are having a Z-score 1, that means you have 1 unit more hyper waves than you're supposed to. If it's 2, it's the severity of hyperactivity. If you have positive Z-score, if you have negative Z-score, is the grade of low activity in that part of the
based
brain.
On a standard that they form.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Right.
Now, how you read this? It's better to read it. Take this part and read it from to right to left. You say, okay, we have problems in Brodmann area 40. How much? here the z-score is 7.8. That means the deviation, this hyperactivity in that area is 7.8 units. Where in delta, that means in the frequency between 1 and 3 hertz, is this patient having problems in Brodmann area of 40. What happens if someone is having delta standard deviation of z-score 7.8? Those symptoms could appear: fibromyalgia, migraines, slow reading, difficulty with social cues, dyslexia, denial, etc., etc. And if you see L or R, it means in which hemisphere. Because Brodmann area 40 is spread in both hemispheres. Now, we got this, which is theta between 4 and 7 hertz. Same Brodmann area is affected, but different waves, different frequency. And here you have again a very relatively high Z score.
7.2. Is this quite normal, sir? Is this quite normal that just in normal patients, if we were to...
Okay, from 1 to 3, if you have z-score 1 to 3 in one of those 9 areas, you wouldn't have any symptoms related to that Brodmann area. If it's 4 to 5, 6, you have notables. From 7 to 10, patient is complaining about those symptoms already. And then you see this as a diagnosis. It's here. Like if someone is coming in and says, I have migraines, and you have this, you say, that's where migraine is coming from. If it's above 10, is severe. 10 to 15, 16 is severe. If you have someone with 20 or 22, like the girl I was telling you, it's special case in terms of very severe brain damage. You have TBI, you have autism, you have Alzheimer's, etc. You have C-scores above 20, or if it's related to the low activity of the brain, you have minus 20, minus 14, etc. Now, what is this going to... What is this going to help us with testing your supplement? I was thinking, okay, if this supplement is good for helping the brain anyhow, it's supposed to help the brain functioning better. How does the brain functioning better? As it produces more normalized brain waves. That's how brain functions. You know that, okay? All I needed to do is doing this kind of mapping and see what is the situation of the Z-scores as the baseline, and if your supplement is able, even if temporary, to reduce the Z-score and make it get closer to null. So that would...
Or increase, right? If
no.
It was negative?
If it's negative, increase. So that would be the goal, without knowing what the supplement, biologically is going to do. Okay, so I don't know. So this one is after 5 minutes taking the supplement. And you can go one by one.
50% difference.
It's huge. From 7.8, she went down to 3.9. So this one is after 5 minutes taking the supplement. And you can go one by one.
50% difference.
It's huge. From 7.8, she went down to 3.9. That means that's the point. As you want to tell what your supplement is capable of, it's depending upon the patient's symptoms. If I suffer from migraine, and if this happens to most people that they are taking this supplement, if I have migraine and the migraine is in my Brodmann area 40 and I take this, I can tell you 100% that my migraine is going to be improved because I have the same effect. The other one, again, because the same Brodmann area, you're going to have the same symptoms here. So if I have a Z-score of 7 or whatever in Brodmann area 40 and I take your supplement, I can expect having an improved situation in terms of my fibromyalgia, about my migraine, because you did help my Brodmann area 40 to have a better Z-score.
But you also have an overall Z-score that's the average of everything?
Exactly.
And
That's the one.
What's the overall
here.
for this patient?
This is it. I made another report, which is the comparison, but you can see here the overall as well. The overall standard deviation of the patient before taking the supplement was 53%. That means 53% of her Z scores were above 2, which is starting to have symptoms with it. And it changed to 28%. So it's still not like all zero, but the reduction, you have a reduction of high Z scores from 53 to 28.
So what did it go down to, like 1.2 or something?
Exactly, yes. Most of them, they went to normal area, and you have just 28 still above 2.
Right.
So if you get...
For stress levels, anxiety...
It depends, again, about the symptoms that you have because of which Brodmann areas are involved. So that means, to me, your supplement is having different effects to different people regarding what symptoms they have and which Brodmann areas are having problems with the Z-score.
But overall, it's affecting each Brodmann area, right?
Now we go one by one. Now we don't look at the all Brodmanns because some of them are normal, so we don't have it here. We go after the wave ranges. Like delta, the overall problem, that's what was by 35%. And now it's reduced by about like 10%. It's 10% now. 10. Yeah.
That's strong.
Here is about like in Theta, it's about
so those are low. She had low Z scores then.
Yeah. The
right?
T1 is test 1, the T2 is test 2. Yeah. Everywhere you can, even without being able to read it from there, you see they're all smaller than.
Is there any instance in which it made her Z score worse?
No.
Not better.
No.
Everyone is a positive.
Yeah, that's my best example.
Now
So
you've seen
you have-
medication where you've administered it to the patient where it damaged some of her scores.
All the time.
That's medicine. That's what it does.
All the time.
It does better for one, but makes worse in the other parts.
In
of the brain.
fact, if you take my login information to the portal that I'm using, and I give you I just close my eyes as I wouldn't see that, and he's recording hip hop, okay, and you go through all patients. It's about 3,500 people that I have. That would be kind of long term, but this I don't have with any supplement or medication.
We created a miracle drug.
That's why I want this to I think I see it as a potentially very helpful if we can publish it, so I can
post. What is it? PTSD, ADHD. Man, there's so many. Oh my God.
Here I have they're more than you can think. So many mental issues people have.
Any patients with autism?
Yeah.
With diagnosed autism?
Yeah.
You here?
Yeah.
They wouldn't work for you. How do you
No.
want them to work for you?
No. Patients.
No,
Patients.
I have patients.
You have patients.
I can
with
bring.
autism?
What we need to do is test a couple of those.
And then
I have one coming in today.